Audio check from podium. Hello, mic testing. Audio check from podium.
What's going on? Should be here. Hey, but yeah, I think it's happening. I said ROTC probably still thinks it's at 7.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Coatesville Area School District School Board meeting for Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. Agenda item 1B, reading of the mission statement. The mission of the Coatesville Area School District, rich in diversity and committed to excellence, is to create innovative educational experiences which are funded by the taxpayers, supported by the community, delivered by dedicated teachers and administrators to ensure all students will become responsible, contributing global citizens. Agenda item 1C, advisement. By notice of the President, board members are advised that all votes shall be regarded as roll call votes. The minutes should also note that public notice was given for this meeting in accordance with Act 93 of 1998, Section 1. School board meetings shall proceed in accordance with school board policy. Madam Secretary, call the roll, please.
Rob Fisher.
Here.
Brandon Roan.
Here.
Harvell Brown.
Here.
Holly Charest. Here. Andrew Finkbonner.
Here.
Becky Harlan. Here. Mary Ann Harris. Here. Amelia Mills.
Here.
Jennifer Schott. Here. Allison Shrivert.
Here.
Isabella Imburgia.
Here.
At this time, if we could all stand for a moment of silence, followed by the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item number 2, to my colleagues, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to this evening's agenda? Additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 3A, approval of the minutes. Recommended motion that the Board of School Directors approve the minutes for the December 13th, 2022 school board meeting, subject to any additions, deletions, modifications, or clarifications. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Jennifer Schott,
Yes.
Brandon Roan,
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner,
Yes.
Rob Fisher,
Yes.
Becky Harlan,
Yes.
Holly Charest,
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris,
Yes.
Amelia Mills,
Yes.
Harvell Brown.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Agenda item 3B, approval of the minutes. Recommended motion that the Board of School Directors approve the minutes for the December 21st, 2022 special school board meeting, subject to any additions, deletions, modifications, or clarifications. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Becky Harlan,
Yes.
Harvell Brown,
Yes.
Amelia Mills,
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris,
Yes.
Rob Fisher,
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner,
Yes.
Jennifer Schott,
Yes.
Brandon Roan,
Yes.
Holly Charest.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Agenda item 3C, approval of the minutes. Recommended motion that the Board of School Directors approve the minutes for the January 10th, 2023 special school board meeting, subject to any additions, deletions, modifications, or clarifications. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Holly Charest,
Yes.
Rob Fisher,
Yes.
Harvell Brown,
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner,
Yes.
Brandon Roan,
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris, Amelia Mills,
Yes.
Becky Harlan,
Yes.
Jennifer Schott.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Moving on to agenda item 3D, approval of the minutes. Recommended motion that the Board of School Directors approve the minutes for the January 17th, 2023 special school board meeting, subject to any additions, deletions, modifications, or clarifications. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Andrew Finkbonner,
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris,
Yes.
Brandon Roan,
Yes.
Harvell Brown,
Yes.
Becky Harlan, Holly Charest,
Yes.
Rob Fisher,
Yes.
Jennifer Schott,
Yes.
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Agenda item 4A, public comment on agenda items. The board has requested all persons making comments on agenda items to list their name, address, telephone number, and motion items on the sheet provided. There is a 3-minute time limit per person. The board does not take action or discuss items not appearing on the agenda. The board values public comments and wishes to convey that although board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda, they listen carefully and appreciate and value input from the public. Ms. Lori Shannon Bailey.
Good evening. I noticed on the HR report that we have several special education teachers that are on a leave of absence. It looks like at least 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a resignation of at least one. So if we think about the value and the importance of special education and the need, I just wondered how we're doing in terms of hiring special education teachers, considering we have had a challenge with retaining teachers. I wonder if if you all would consider just letting the public know where we stand with the number of teachers that we've hired, considering or in comparison to the number of teachers that have resigned during the last year. The next question would be, would you consider informing the public on the number of mental health staff that the district has hired? I do know that all Pennsylvania school districts were given a $200,000 grant to hire mental health staff. So I think the public would benefit from knowing the number of mental health and behavioral health staff that we have to help support our children emotionally. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shannon Bailey. Moving on to agenda item 5A, executive session. The executive session was held on January 9th, 2023. and January 23, 2023 for legal and personnel reasons. Moving on to agenda item 6A, student representatives reports. Ladies.
Good evening. My name is Isabella Imburgi and I'm the junior representative. I hope everyone is having an enjoyable evening. This past Friday marked the end of the second marking period, meaning there are only 90 days left of the school year. We encourage all students to stay academically focused and enjoy the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year. Last Friday also marked the second annual Mr. Coatesville. Congratulations to Quinn Houston, who was crowned Mr. Coatesville, along with the runners-up Joshua Miller and Gavin Razor. Proceeds from this event will benefit the senior prom. Thank you to Miss Mills and Mrs. Harris who volunteered their time to judge this competition. Coming up this week, the Cash Paint and Patch Drama Club will perform Oliver Jr. on Thursday, January 26th and Friday, January 27th at 7 p.m. here in the Cash Auditorium. Please come out and support our students in this wonderful production by purchasing tickets online. Lastly, the members of the Cash Robotics Club have been invited to Representative Dan Williams' office in Harrisburg on January 31st. The club will showcase their robots in the East Wing Rotunda during the visit. Congratulations to the Robotics Club on this wonderful achievement. I will now be passing it over to my senior counterpart, Allison Schreiber.
Good evening. My name is Allison Schreiber and I'm the senior class student representative. I'd like to highlight a wonderful new program taking place here at Cash. Coatesville Area Senior High School is proud to announce the addition of the Coatesville Athletic Leadership Council, also known as CALC, to our athletics initiative. The mission of the CALC is for student-athlete leaders to create a positive environment through community service, school spirit, and leadership activities that will impact the school community and beyond. The CALC consists of about 40 members, including one senior and one junior representative, who were chosen from each sport by their head coach. These students embody the leadership skills that will help build upon and foster to strengthen our teams, schools, and neighborhoods. The CISD Athletic Department, along with Dwayne Walton from the Parksburg Point, Josh Kranz from the Bridge Academy, Mark Mincer, and Amanda Ashby from the Youth Mentoring Partnership, look forward to sharing experiences and lessons from this inaugural year of leadership development. So far, the CALC has met 3 times, specifically every third Wednesday of the month at the Parksburg Point and the United Way of Chester County. These outstanding facilities have allowed our council to meet and apply mental and physical leadership exercises that they can use to connect to their team, school, and community. Coming up, we plan to continue discussing applicable leadership skills each month and also attend the Fit to Lead Student-Athlete Conference at Newman University. As a member of the CALC, I can attest to the numerous lessons I have already learned from our meetings, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, ladies. Allison, we're beyond the halfway point, correct?
Much beyond, like 83 days, I think.
Okay, so we're closing in on it. Goes quickly, right? Thank you, ladies, for your report this evening. And Isabella, I know that you have another commitment, and Allison, if you need to be excused, please go also. But thank you, ladies. Moving on to agenda item 7A, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Dunlap.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Good evening, board members, district teachers, administrators, parents, students, and community members. As you know, the district has hired a new superintendent, and Dr. Van Voren will be joining the district next month. I congratulate Dr. Van Voren and wish her the best in leading the district forward. This will be my last meeting as interim superintendent in Coatesville, and I wanted to take a moment to celebrate the incredible work of the district. The staff, faculty, students, administrators, and parents have worked incredibly hard over the last several years to make incredible progress. I've worked in several capacities here in the Coatesville Area School District, primarily as an interim superintendent or as an administrator in a consultant capacity. It's been a pleasure to lead and be part of the team that has poured its heart into supporting our students. Tonight, I would like to report that when I came to the district, back in 2019, 2020, we had a deficit of $14.3 million. We had to make a number of difficult reductions to help balance the budget that year. We also went out with a 0% tax increase that year. Over the last 2 years, we have held taxes to the Adjusted 1, Act 1 index, and we have done our level best not to make any dramatic staff reductions. Through hard work and hard decisions, this district is slowly making steady progress forward. You have taken a temporary comprehensive plan known as a bridge plan and turned that into a solid comprehensive plan which has yielded in academic progress, improvements in climate, financial progress, and facilities progress. This year we are reporting, especially at this point in time in the school year, that we have a $5 million deficit to close and a negative fund balance. However, over the next month or two, auditors will share that we have a significant amount of surplus funds. I am highly confident that the auditors will share this amount, as well as the reasons pertaining to why there will be a significant amount of surplus funds available. With these funds, the district will have the opportunity to make some positive decisions. However, the board will have to make some hard decisions to make about how it spends or saves that money. This will be the first time in years that the board will have the ability to put money into a fund balance. The district will still have to close the deficit and decide whether to retain any or some of the 12 teaching positions and 3 administrative positions that have been supported by ESSER's funding. The amount of those surplus funds will be approximately $15 million. Over the past few years, we have made considerable progress academically with the new comprehensive plan and with our Master Facilities Task Force, engaging our community to take a hard look at the future of our families. Academically, test scores are beginning to rise. That's thanks to a new curriculum and especially the hard work of our teachers and systems like MTSS, a multi-tiered system of supports, and PBIS, Positive Behavioral Interventions and Supports. We started a Coatesville Education Foundation and have raised $30,000 to date. This foundation is now in place to support the students and staff of the school district. There are still many challenges ahead, but it's important to look back and celebrate the positive progress the district has made. I wish the Coatesville Area School District nothing but the best, and have given the district my best in trying to provide some stability in leading this school district forward. It's been my honor and privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dunlap. We haven't discussed this privately, but you may have one inaccurate statement there. Just for the public, Dr. Van Voorn will be officially sworn in Judge Hall's chambers over in Westchester on February 7th. February 7th. And she is scheduled to join us before February 27th, but has not got an official release date from her current school district. So, Dr. Dunlap, we might need you on the 14th. So, with that being said, Dr. Dunlap, I'll just say thank you. Special reports. Oh, no, excuse me. Important dates. February 14, 2023, 6 o'clock p.m., all committees and special meeting, Coatesville Area Senior High School Auditorium. February 28, 2023, 6 o'clock p.m., note the change for the second meeting of the month to 6 o'clock p.m., school board meeting, Coatesville Area Senior High School Auditorium. Agenda item 8A, Scott 6th Grade Center presentation. Excuse me, could you use the microphone, please? Because there are people that I'm sure are listening to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I apologize, Mr. Fisher. So I'll start over. Good evening, school board, teachers, administrators, students, and families. Trying to pick one of the things to focus on to celebrate for Scott Sixth Grade Center, I decided to focus on our flag team. These young men and women that I'm going to speak about this evening volunteer their time. They actually came to me. It started, some of these young men and women, this was a service that they did in their elementary schools where they helped to raise the flag in the morning and take it down in the evening. And they wanted to do that for us here at Scott. So we started our flag team. If you could switch to the next slide. It's okay, I'll keep talking. Technical difficulties, I can keep going. So what our flag team does, we worked and they actually, at the beginning, right before the holidays, we started with our scouts, and our scouts helped to work with the other students, and we trained them in the process of how to raise and lower the flag and the special procedure to fold the flag. And so we started with that, and we had 24 students that are trained for our first flag team. We have a bunch of students that would like to start and help us out at the second half of the year, and we will be continuing to train them. But the students in the morning, when they come in from the bus, they go right to our main office, and they get our flag, and they start to raise it. I'm hoping that we can get our pictures up so that our families can see some of the things that we've done. So you can see, for those of us that are here, there are some really great pictures of the students early in the morning, sunrise, putting the flag up, and then at the end of the day, taking it down and folding it. Mr. Deanna, if you want to switch to the next slide. If you want to switch to the next slide, there's a really great picture of our whole flag team. So we have 24 students currently that are helping us do this in the mornings and evenings. They work, or mornings and afternoons. They work in sets of 3, teams of 3, because that's how much it takes to get them to get the flag properly taken care of. We do have some students out in the audience tonight, and so I would like to invite our flag team to come up. Mr. Altland and I have some special awards for you. Stay here. It's all right. You got it from Mr. Altland. Mr. Fisher, would you like to come down and shake some hands? Wait, right there. So ladies and gentlemen, once you shake, you're going to get your certificate from Mr. Altland, and you're going to get a flag pin from Mr. Fisher. And then I'd like you to come over and stand in front of the stage because we've got lots of proud parents. So our first person here is Stephen Fisher. You got to shake his hand. And then we have Joseph Gallagher. And Kenley Crane. And Samantha Denny. Owen Pratt. Brielle Abrams. And finally, Julia Fisher. All right, if I could have a round of applause for our wonderful flag team volunteers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can have a seat. So I'm very proud of these ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it's a volunteer, and I'm really proud of their ownership and wanting to take something on like that they came to us and asked to do this and are working to support and help other students in our building. Very proud, and hopefully at the end of the semester we'll have some more students. So thank you very much.
On behalf of the board, thank you very much, and to the students, thank you for taking the time to volunteer and to help out your school. Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 9A, adoption of consent agenda. Recommended motion that the Board of School Directors approve the consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Committee meeting action items considered routine will be enacted under one motion unless removed for separate action upon board request. The purpose of the consolidated motion is to expedite governing board action on all consent items which are not held for discussion. Items that have been held for discussion by the governing board will be enacted upon at the time the item is discussed. This evening, I would like to remove the following items, agenda items from consent agenda. Under Finance, number 10A, financial statements. B, 2023-2024 budget resolution. And V, Human Resources report. Are there any other items to be removed from consent agenda this evening? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote, please.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner.
Yes.
Harvell Brown.
Yes.
Jennifer Schott.
Yes.
Holly Charest.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Ms. Mills.
Okay, number 10, Finance, letter A, financial statements. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the financial statements, bills payable list as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Call for the vote.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Abstain.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner.
Yes.
Jennifer Schott.
Yes.
Harvell Brown. Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Holly Charest.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Motion approved.
B, 2023-2024 budget resolution. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 2023-2024 budget resolution, option B, stay within the 5.3% Act 1 index for budget as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Call for the vote.
Ms. Mills,
Yep.
before you call for the vote, I removed this for the required roll call vote, and we are voting on option B. A yes would mean that you approve option B, which means that we would stay within the 5.3% Act 1 index. Thank you.
And thank you. Call for the vote.
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Holly Charest.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yeah.
Jennifer Schott.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner.
Yes.
Harvell Brown.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And item V, Human Resources Report. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the resignations, appointments, new positions, leave of absence, transfers, change of status, and corrections as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any comments on this one? Hearing none, let's call for the vote.
Amelia Mills.
Yes.
Jennifer Schott.
Yes.
Holly Charest.
Yes.
Rob Fisher.
Yes.
Andrew Finkbonner.
Yes.
Becky Harlan.
Yes.
Harvell Brown.
Yes.
Mary Ann Harris.
Yes.
Brandon Roan.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Moving on to agenda item 14A, public comment. The board has requested that all persons making comments of public concern to list their name, address, telephone number, and topics on the sheet provided. There is a 3-minute time limit per person. First person, the writing is awful small. I can see the last name as Jackson, I believe. Thank you, sir. And first name, please, sir? Emmanuel. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Jackson. I am a class of 1972 student right here in Coatesville. I am an old Chief Red Raider. I'm sorry. My name is Emmanuel Jackson. I am your Coatesville Chief Red Raider, class 1972. I'm coming back home to see if I can be a mentor to our students here in Coatesville. It's hard to see how we, us, parents, has let our younger generation fall into this cavity of disrespect and not feeling love. I look right behind me here and we have a juvenile right sitting right here. Come on now. That's us. We taught them. We're their leaders. So we need to be more inclusive, comprehensive, and mindful of what we're dealing with in this generation. So I'm here. I'm back in Coatesville. I'm finna do something up in Valley Township, which is the sports complex, that I'm finna get everybody involved, because physical activity is everything. You walk, you talk, you sleep, that's all physical activity. And in my world, when I was in the military, I was a physical activity specialist for 15 years, places like West Point, Berlin. But then I changed my MOS and became 11 Bravo. I'm Bradley Master Gunner. So yeah, I got some education from my fellow soldiers and my fellow students. Let's get this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, if you were the Chief Red Raider in 1972, you did a lot of push-ups because that football team scored a lot of points. Thank you, sir. Lori Shannon Bailey.
I just want to point out this is actually not a juvenile. In case you're interested, his hearing is on Valentine's Day at 1 p.m. We are praying hard that he will be able to stay in school. Special education trainings, I'd like to know if the Zoom training that was scheduled last week was held or was scheduled as advertised. I didn't see it, didn't see any advertising about it. I've talked about those trainings. I'm happy that you all had them, but if people don't know about them and if you all are not promoting them, then they're not going to help our parents help their children. Trauma-informed care, I've talked about that before. Please do what you can to promote that among your administration. I'm praying that it doesn't take 5 years to get that in our district and in our schools and our classrooms. It was a highlight of the Lincoln Academy. I heard nothing but good things about how the staff interacted with our client. It is a best practice. We need it in our community because of the amount of trauma that we face day in and day out. Thank you, Dr. Dunlap. Thank you for your service. I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Ms. Shannon Bailey. Megan Murray.
Good evening. Megan Murray, Cowan Township. You guys have seen me here before. So I'd like to speak tonight regarding two related items. First, in doing some research just the other week from one of my doctoral classes, I was unable to find on the district's website any statement or policy specifically regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion. I know we previously had an equity committee, but it's my understanding that that team has been defunct for quite some time. Statistically, we are the most diverse school district in Chester County, and I know that we do all aspire toward DEI ideals. I'm hoping that somehow I missed something, so I would like if someone could please direct me either in the right direction or let me know what is being done to create such a policy. Secondly, I'd like to inquire about the status of any sort of statement or policy that supports the needs of our LGBTQ students, especially our transgender students. These students are afforded no explicit consideration in our policies, aside from a mostly generic mention in the overall anti-discrimination policy. I was told around this time last year that such a policy was being developed and that a draft would be seen at a board meeting in April or May at the latest. No such policy was presented to my knowledge. I was then told that final details were being worked out with legal counsel, and I could expect a policy to be in place by August. Again, no such policy has been implemented. While I understand that there are many intricacies to policy development, especially one such as this, there are certainly practices that can be put into place in the meantime. Mrs. Snyder's weekly message 2 weeks ago included important graduation information for our seniors. Included in the general instructions was the following. Girls are to wear light-colored clothing under red academic gowns. Boys wear white shirts and dark ties. Dark trousers, black socks, and shoes are preferable. Our code of conduct does not include gender-specific dress codes, so why does graduation? The field looks beautiful with the alternating rows of red and black at graduation. However, I'm quite certain it would look just as beautiful if the students were assigned their cap and gown color by any means other than gender, or even allowed to select the color themselves. The ACLU makes it clear that public school dress codes cannot be explicitly discriminatory. While specific types of attire that are or are not acceptable may be addressed, they may not differ based on students' gender, race, religion, or other protected characteristics. This argument is backed up by federal law, including Title IX, Title VII, and the U.S. Constitution's Equal Protection Guarantee. We've heard at previous board meetings parents telling horror stories of their students who have been harassed for their gender identity or explicitly had their gender identity refused to be acknowledged by others. We have an obligation to protect all of our students, do we not? They should not have to ask for an exception to a standard that violates federal law and is discriminatory towards those who are gender expansive. We should not be pretending that we live in a world where everyone fits into a binary category, because the fact is we do not. Simple affirmation of a student's identity can literally mean the difference between life and death. We must do better. I look forward to seeing more inclusive language in future district communications, and will be anticipating the presentation of policies to support our LGBTQ students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Murray. Any informational items or additional board reports this evening?
I have a report.
Ms. Mills.
Well, our schools have been rocking and rolling in January. Earlier this month, we had our district spelling bee at Rainbow, thanks to the principal, Maria Stauffer, for hosting. And Director Mary Harris and I judged the bee and called out words, along with 2 retired teachers, volunteers, Ellen Tolbert and Nona Warren. Rainbow reading specialist Sue Ann DiLorenzo and Pam Bazar, working with Cassandra Jones, organized and led another successful spelling bee. And in case you didn't know, Callan was the overall winner and took home the trophy. But a bee is more than getting the words spelled right. Our student contestants also displayed grace and good sportsmanship that morning. On behalf of the Board of School Directors, we'd like to recognize and say great job to 3rd grade winners Colin Weaver, Liliana Arias, and Giancarlo Montanez. 4th grade winners Caleb Clemson Graham, Olivia Comley, and Lilith Gleason. 5th grade winners Brielle Wilson, Zoe Everett, and Joel Moyano. Last week, our elementary schools also held their science fairs. Director Holly Charest and I judged Rainbow's projects, along with a volunteer, Joe Tordone, who happens to be the father of Rainbow's STEM teacher. I also helped out and judged projects at Kings Highway with a retired teacher from Phoenixville and a friend of Elizabeth Bennett, their STEM teacher. So on behalf of all of our elementary STEM teachers who coordinated their fairs, and also from my colleagues on the board, thanks to all the volunteers who took the time to come out and judge. Last Thursday was the science fair at the intermediate high school. organized by Dr. Hines. Dr. Alston, Lynn Mancinelli, and I judged 8th and 9th grade projects. Part of our job as judges is to interview individual students and teams of students about their projects. If you want a real adventure in learning, just talk to students about their science fair work. I was personally moved at how articulate and full of wonder our students are. But the week wasn't over. Friday night, Director Harris and I judged Mr. Coatesville competition, along with 3 teacher volunteers. The competition is an annual fundraiser for the prom. The young men and their lady escorts were a chuckle and a half. The evening was a delight for both contestants and the audience. So as January comes to an end, I'd like to leave you with this thought. The Coatesville Area School District has great kids, and our kids were blessed with remarkable teachers. And luckily, our teachers have good friends who volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mills. Any other informational items this evening? Seeing none, I will call for a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
We will adjourn at 6:38.
Next week, I bought this candle.